Hey, Allison Verhalen here with AV Writing Services, and today I have a tale of two marketers for you. We'll call them James and Denise. They're fictional, but the situations they find themselves in and the ways in which they tend to deal with them are all too common. So we'll start with James. James is finally starting to get some traction in his business. He's getting some attention and he's getting busier and busier. And he's used to writing his own content. He's been doing that since he started his own business. But lately, it's just been harder and harder to find the time to write that content. So recently he was asked to provide a guest post on a blog that has a lot of followers. It's very influential in his industry. It would be a great opportunity for him to expand his audience, to organically get in front of his target audience, because that's primarily who follows this blog, are people that he is trying to get in front of and trying to convince them that he's the expert, he knows what he's talking about, they should work with him. So it's a great opportunity to write this blog post, but it's been going on for a while. He's not really sure what he should talk about that hasn't already been covered on the blog. He starts to go through the list of titles that have already been published on this blog, trying to come up with ideas, and they all just kind of blur together. So he drops it for a while, he goes back to work, he has other things to do. But again, time passes, the deadline is getting closer, he knows he needs to get back to work. So he starts looking through some of his old blog posts. He knows he can't just copy and paste because that's bad for SEO and it's not original content, which is not what this blog asked for. They wanted something new and unique and relevant to their audience. But maybe he can get some inspiration from some of his existing blog posts. Maybe he can find something he can repurpose and use as a guest post on this other blog. So he's going through his old posts and finds typos and things that are no longer relevant and stuff that needs to be updated. And he kind of goes down this rabbit hole, right, of fixing what's already there on his website. And the next thing he knows, the afternoon is gone. The time he has set aside to work on this is gone. He still doesn't know what he's going to write about. He has other things he has to get to. He just wasted an hour, 2 hours, however long, and he has nothing to show for it. So again, time's passing. The deadline is getting closer and closer. He leaves it till the last minute. He finally manages to just sit down and write something out, turn it in. It does get turned in on time, but he knows it's not his best work. He didn't have time to really leave it alone for a while, go back and edit it, make sure that it was proofread. The team on the other blog will take care of that before they publish it, but it's more work for them. It's not the best content he could have produced for them. Whether or not they'll ask him back to provide another guest post is iffy, because he knows he did not do a great job on this post. So that's what happened with Marketer 1, and who knows how effective that blog is going to be. Yes, he got in front of a bunch of people who are his ideal clients and could potentially become clients of his, but will they become clients? Will the blog that he kind of hastily threw together, will that really be something that's as effective as something that would have been thoughtfully produced and edited and poured over before getting published? So that's our first marketer. And now let's look at our second marketer. We can call her Denise. Denise is also coming up in the world. She's getting recognition. She's out there, she's speaking, she's getting more clients. And again, she's used to creating her own content. She doesn't really like creating content, so it's not something that's at the top of her priority list. But again, someone approaches her, they need a guest blog post, she is more than happy to oblige, but she's got a lot on her plate. She's taking classes to get extra certifications in her industry. She's on all the different social media channels, not all of them, but she is strategically engaging where her audience is hanging out, and she's not spending all her time there, but it is significant. At the same time, Denise is really good at delegating and outsourcing stuff that she doesn't really want to be doing. So when she has to do the live videos on social media and she has to engage, that's where she is. But when it comes to posting and scheduling posts and all the stuff that she does not need to be doing herself, she outsources that. The admin stuff, she outsources that. She doesn't need to be spending a bunch of time on that. It's much more worth her while to outsource it to someone, pay them to do it so she can spend more time on what she really loves doing and things that are really going to bring in the income for her, because that's what running a business is all about, right? It's not about all of this busy work. It's about bringing in the money. So that's what she's doing. And when it comes to some of the outreach online, she lets other people handle that. So same thing with this blog. She wants to write the blog. She has an idea of what she wants to write about, but she just doesn't have the time. She has too many things on her plate right now. She knows it's not going to get done. So about a week before it's due, she calls up her favorite content marketer and says, hey, I need this done. Can you get it to me by this date? Content marketer says, yeah, absolutely, no problem. And that's it. Denise sends over her stuff, the idea that she had. She knows all of the information as to the regulations for this particular blog, the kind of content they want, how long they want it, who their target audience is, all of these different things that will make the content marketer's job easy. And all Denise has to do is send this to the content marketer and she's done. She doesn't have to think about it. She spends the next few days doing her thing. She chills over the weekend. She spends time with her family. Monday, she's back at work doing her stuff. And Tuesday, the blog just magically appears in her inbox. She didn't even have to think about it, didn't have to lift a finger for it to happen. It just, poof, there's her beautifully written blog post. It's perfect. It sounds like it was written by her. It's totally in alignment with her goals. It has a relevant call to action that will help her further her business goals, but is also in alignment with the guidelines of the blog that this is going to be published on. That's it. All she has to do is pay her content marketer and send off the blog post and she's done. And again, this blog will publish it, they'll distribute it, it's on all the different social media channels, people are talking about it, she's getting great comments. People say it's very valuable, it's very helpful, it's full of great tips. They love that she wrote this blog post for them. They have no idea she did not actually write the blog post. So my question to you today is whether or not you want to be like Marketer 1 or if you'd rather be like Marketer 2 and stop worrying about when your content is gonna get done, when you're gonna have time to write it. If your blog is languishing and you haven't published anything new in months, maybe it's time to admit that it's time to hand that off to someone else because you're clearly busy doing other things and that's great. But you could be even busier. You could add more to your team by having someone write those great blog posts that are effective at furthering your business goals and attracting, engaging, and converting more of those online leads so you can get more business and continue to grow your business. So that's my invitation to you today. And if you do decide that it's time to hire a content marketer, you know where to find me. I am at avwritingservices.com and my email is info@avwritingservices.com. That's it. Have a great week and happy blogging.